Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Saturday, July 29th, 2017 by Gaia Blooming. I am Mimi and our energy mantra for today is I balance the paradigm by allowing my joy to flow. And today we are finishing up the moon in Libra, and the moon will be shifting like 5-something p.m. Pacific time. I have it right here. 5:23 p.m. Pacific time into Scorpio. But I mentioned yesterday, and this is going to be ongoing, that we have Jupiter in Libra beginning to move into an exact square with Pluto in Capricorn. And so this really is helping us bring love to some of our shadow energies. Not to mention that we are in eclipse season, and eclipses show us shadows and light. And we have the sun in Leo, which is so much light, and we have the moon moving into Scorpio, which can bring us the shadows. And the big message that came through today, and I was like, wow, I like this message. This is really interesting. The big message that came through is you set the balance of the paradigm. The balance of how much light that you are going to bring to connect in to the shadow energy. In every moment you get to choose. And what we are focusing on with Sun in Leo is bringing forth the joy. And I'm going to go to Abraham for this. And I'm gonna show you some of my cards. I got some tough cards today. I was like, oh really, man. I've got the conditioning card and postponement, the burden, tuning in, looking in, and there she has like some shadows talking to her in there. And I ultimately also have from 13 Moon and from Osho, Catalyst and Transformation. And this card, this transformation card, is very much a Scorpio card. But one of the things that Abraham says, and I think it's a struggle for some of us, it can be for me at least, is they say you can never get sick enough to make other people better. You can never get sad enough to make other people happy. That kind of thing. It is not going to be through your downtrodden energy that you ever can help anybody else rise. And so it's remembering that and not carrying guilt for choosing to be joyful. And now I'm also not saying that you avoid the shadows, and I'm not saying that you don't deal with the feels that come up. I'm not saying that you don't deal with the things that hurt or whatever, but the return is always, and how do I bring this into the joy? I love my 3 questions. What's the good? What's the joy? And what's the lesson? And so just remembering that it's always up to you. How much light do you want to bring into the balance? How much joy do you want to bring in to connect to these shadows? And it's never about anybody else's shadows. This is always about you, yourself, and you. And what are you doing to move yourself through whatever it is for you? How you're balancing your own personal paradigm, how you're setting into your foundation, your level of light, your level of joy. So that being said, the moon is the one making the majority of the connections today. And I say the majority of the connections, the moon is actually making all of the major connections today. But we have, like I said, we have some building things going on. We have that Jupiter-Pluto thing, which is going to be ongoing, bringing that strong level of self-love that we've been practicing with Jupiter expanding that energy in Libra to Pluto, to this new paradigm, this new structure that we're building. The willingness to look at the shadows and the willingness to bring love, bring light to them instead of like shoving it into the, furthest corner and putting cobwebs over it. Just stay there. Just hang out there. That doesn't work. So we are working in that. We're also building into Venus square Chiron, which is actually happening tomorrow. Tomorrow meaning Sunday, really, really early in the morning. But we'll be feeling that building. And there's a level of worth stuff that's coming up. And there's some of that old karmic, old ancestral, old in this lifetime stuff that may come up as Chiron is retrograde in Pisces, as we have Venus in Gemini meet up with Chiron. And your mind may want to sort its way through this, and this may be coming up today as part of the shadows and the light. Be present, be aware of your conditioning in and through that. So, that being said, the moon is making several connections through the day before it moves into Scorpio. So we begin with the moon sextiling Saturn in Sagittarius. To me, this is a meeting of moon in Libra. You know, moon in Libra just coming from visiting with Jupiter is like, oh, I know the self-love process, and meeting up with Saturn, and moon in Libra is like, Saturn, I'm going to teach you all about this new process so you can incur this into your new belief systems, because Saturn is for 1 month more. I'm so excited about this. 1 month more retrograde in Sagittarius. I'm really excited for Saturn to go direct. So Saturn is like digging in, learning these lessons, throwing out those old beliefs. And here comes this moon in Libra being like, hey, you can take this in. You can expand yourself through this. And you're really going to grow and you're going to glow. So thank you, moon in Libra, for doing that. Moon in Libra is also connecting to Venus. So both Venus and moon in Libra are connecting into that Chiron piece. Like I said, we have so many planets that keep working us into our worth process. Are you listening yet? Do you know your worth? And it's okay if you're not there yet. It's okay if you're still struggling. You know, we've been conditioned from the time we were born. Don't do that, that makes you a bad boy. Don't do that, that makes you a bad girl. You're a bad kid if you do this thing. You're a good kid if you do this thing. And that confuses us because it's like, I can't do this or I'm going to be bad. And we have these conditions put upon ourselves. You've got to figure out who you are. And you probably also need to go visit those places where you were told that was bad, that was good. And give yourself some hugs for that space and be like, well, you're a human doing the best you can. You know, it's okay. Throw off those sheep shackles and, you know, bring yourself some love. How much joy are you bringing to this paradigm? How much joy are you bringing into this balance? I love, 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 love. Wish I had the painting to show you. I love the Egyptian thought process, heart as light as a feather. And so I painted for Libra actually scales, and I put in one a heart and a feather. Can you bring that lightness to any of those places where you feel the heaviness? This is part of the self-love process, is the ability to do that. So there's strong energy that can help you in that today, and that will release you from some of this conditioning. Moon will oppose Uranus. I think this is a very strong energy today. Oppositions can feel like a tug of war, or they can feel like we're working together. I always like we're working together. Moon and Libra working the self-love process. Uranus and Aries helping release us from any paradigms that are not true to us, helping release us, liberate us from any I ams that we've, you know, taken and put on like a hat and kind of left there. And it's like, oh, you're walking around, you don't want to wear the hat anymore, and yet you still have this hat on. So Uranus is helping liberate us from that. Now again, this is at 28 degrees. We have such strong 28-degree energy going on. 28 degrees is that degree, is that energy of worth pressing on us again. So you are worth having a joyful life. You are worth choosing the things that do feel good, but it is going to be a choice, and you are going to have to face some of the conditions in the choice. I love that I have this card. After I pulled all of these other cards, tuning in, listening to the shadows, the burden, the mental games that are coming and playing, postponement, you're still looking to where the grass is greener, the conditioning, I was like, and also, you know, transformation, the catalyst, I was like, can I get a good card? Like, just throw a little lightness in there. This is the good card, totality. And that's be in the moment. You can find the light in this moment. What's the joy? What's the good? What's the lesson? That is what this totality card is. So do not get stuck in your mind. Don't get stuck in the cobwebs, in the shadows. Bring your light into that energy. And that will bring you into this transformation spirit. That will bring you into this catalyzed energy. So if you watch me daily, I had this card the other week with the new moon, actually. Catalyze, transform, ignite, reveal, burn away, awaken. This is good energy. We need this energy. This energy is so important, like I said, in these shadows and light that come with eclipse energy. But what I love is the last line in here. Remember that in sacred feminine energy, spiritual evolution is ecstatic. You can find the ecstasy in this transformation. How much joy are you going to allow to flow in and through these experiences. It is ultimately, in every moment, up to you. In every moment, it is going to be your choice. What are you going to focus on in and through the energy? And that is your personal responsibility. And since those are the cards, I was like, well, then I'm going to get a kitty card so we can bring some light. And of course, I got the kitty card of balance. Meet Varo Tiptoe Sky. She can balance perfectly with an inner precision and assurance. She leans one way and then the other, constantly adjusting and learning where her center lies. She understands the dichotomies, work and play, togetherness and solitude, inner reflection and outward expression, striving and letting go, accepting and changing, freedom and discipline, reason and intuition, spiritual expansion and grounding. They go on and on. Let Varo help you see what areas of your life are out of balance and what shifts you can make to return to graceful equilibrium. So she's definitely helping us with this Libra energy. Find that balance and bring this joy in to make our hearts as light as a feather. Now, like I said, Moon's going to be moving into Scorpio. Scorpio, what can I say? It's happening on many levels, where before this eclipse comes, the first eclipse, which is August 7th, is it? I believe. I'm now losing all the dates that I have in my head. There's just too many. What date is the first eclipse? Yes, August 7th. I was right. August 7th is that lunar eclipse. So Scorpio's like, I'm going to bring this up. Keep bringing the joy. Keep bringing the light to it. Bring the light to meet it. It is up to you to do this, because we as a whole are setting new paradigms every single time we make that choice within ourselves and then in the greater cycles of what's going on in the world. So that is it for today, book a reading. If you want to dive deeper into your personal chart, and I will see you tomorrow. Namaste.